Good morning, you guys. It's day number 85 of my Staybatical 250, my 100-day journey to change my body, my mind, watch what happens. It is very cold today out here on the trail. It is like 27 degrees right now, and I'm still in shorts and t-shirt. Yesterday morning, I think it was like 28 or 29. But the wind was so strong yesterday morning, I was like, no, I'm not going out there with the wind blowing with that cold. So today it's colder, it's 27 degrees, but it's no wind today. So a little bit of biting. Maybe you'll see me start to get red from being so cold, and that's all right. But I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Kind of hard to mess it up this early unless you're watching on the replay later, and maybe it's later and you have messed up your day. Sorry about that if that's what's happened for you. But here in America, it is the day before Thanksgiving, and so I thought about a topic. Since I'm going to take tomorrow off, I will do a rest day tomorrow, so no walk and talk on the holiday tomorrow. But today I thought I would address a topic that I think would be apropos for tomorrow's holiday. So let me pin it to the top here. There we go. Now you can see what we're talking about. Finding gratitude when you don't feel it. And look, I don't know where you are in your life right now as we enter the Thanksgiving holiday. And I don't know what you're going through in your life, but I would venture to say that a lot of people watching this right now, listening to my voice, a lot of you don't have gratitude in your heart. Isn't it funny how we have to have a holiday that reminds us to give thanks for things in our lives? We need a holiday one time a year that says, oh, okay, let's celebrate all the things that we're thankful for and have Thanksgiving. And to me, that's kind of silly anyway. I've never understood the idea. I mean, I guess it gives you one day to officially stop and be thankful. But what do you do with those situations in your life where you're just not feeling that grateful? Maybe you recently lost your job, or your spouse lost their job and you've lost your source of income. Can you be thankful? What if you lost a loved one, a parent, a grandparent, and God forbid, a child? What if you've gone through some really tough times in your life? How do you find gratitude in the midst of that? How do you show thankfulness when you're not feeling that? You're not feeling very thankful. There's a lot of people going through separations and divorces right now, and they're not feeling great from all of that strife and that drama and all the things that come with that. It's a lot to carry. It's a big burden that I think we sometimes forget. Yes, it's Thanksgiving, and we put on the happy face and be around family or whatever you're going to do tomorrow. But how do you find thankfulness when you're not very grateful in your life? And look, I'm just being dead honest, as I always am. There are going to be moments when you're not going to feel very much gratitude. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving or not. You're not going to feel gratitude in your heart because the circumstances in your life seem so overwhelming. Like a lot of the things that have gone on in the world the last couple of years. People have not felt very grateful for that. And like I said earlier, if you've lost a loved one recently, you're not going to feel very grateful. If you've lost your job, no gratitude. So let's not pretend like because the calendar flips over to a day when we're supposed to give Thanksgiving for all the blessings in our life that you're going to feel it. I'm going to argue you probably won't feel it. But let's flip that. Let's talk about how you find gratitude when you don't feel it. So I'm going to start with some basic stuff. And please feel free to chime in on your thoughts on this topic, by the way. Always love getting the interaction from you guys. Let's flip the script. How do you find gratitude in the midst of not feeling it? Thank you, Del Norte. Appreciate you getting a badge. Just a reminder to all you watching live on Instagram, there is a buy a badge thing down there that if you want to support this walk and talk, always helps me out, so I appreciate that. But how do you find gratitude when you don't feel it? I'm going to ask you one question. You're going to be like, that's not fair. Okay, but it's true. Are you breathing right now? Are you? That's something to be grateful for. There's a lot of people that were breathing this time last year and they're not breathing now. So that's one. Are you able to have a roof over your head? Another thing to be grateful for. Do you have your general health? Maybe you're dealing with something right now, but in general, are you healthy? Have you been healthy in your life? Something to be grateful for. I could go down the list of all these kinds of things, but I think you're getting the gist of what I'm saying here. We put so much stock in the recency bias of the events of our life that we forget to stop and acknowledge the things we take for granted. We take for granted that we're going to wake up in the morning. We take for granted that we're going to breathe every day. We take for granted that we still have that job that maybe we don't like it, but we still have a job. We take that for granted. You take for granted the friends and family you have in your life. And that's why you don't feel gratitude. That's why on this day before Thanksgiving, you might be feeling kind of blah and not knowing what you can be thankful for. And I urge you, think about the things you're taking for granted right now. And it's those things that you focus on. It's those things you have gratitude for. In this very moment, as I'm walking in 27-degree temperature here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, I am grateful that I have cold tolerance. I have cold tolerance even though my left hand is biting so hard on me right now. These fingers are all tingling right now because it's so cold. But I'm thankful I've built up tolerance to cold, doing all the ice baths. And so there's always something to have gratitude for. And I want to hear from you. What do you have gratitude in your heart for? What are you thankful for on this day before Thanksgiving? I will not be here tomorrow on the holiday. So this is your chance. Let's encourage one another. And maybe you sharing what you're thankful for and have gratitude in your heart for will encourage other people that are not feeling very grateful today. They don't feel like there's very much to be thankful about in their lives. Share what you have gratitude for. And if you're somebody that doesn't feel grateful, please do not make yourself feel bad about this. I think it's so easy to fall into negative mindset of not thinking things are going very well in your life. I know what that feels like. 2 years ago, my life was falling apart mentally and psychologically because of a couple of huge events that happened to me. One around childhood trauma and another around a personal life thing. And those things shook me hard. And in the midst of them, I didn't feel very grateful. I didn't feel very full of thanks in my heart. I felt horrible. I thought, man, I don't have anything good going for me right now. We all have those moments, guys. It's why you see me come on camera every day, even in 27-degree temperature like it is today. So passionate about encouraging you, lifting you up, because I've been there. Everything I talk about, I have lived. I have overcome. And it didn't come without some tears and without a lot of anguish. I'm trying to help you avert some of the anguish that I went through. I went through a lot of anguish. Because in the midst of going through some stuff, you don't feel much gratitude. You don't. So what do you do in the midst of that? You get through those tough spots, number one, but then you zero in on what are those things you've taken for granted. You are breathing today. Ostensibly, you're holding an iPhone or some kind of device to watch me blabber my mouth at you. That's a blessing to be thankful for. You've got your health, and maybe it's not as great as you want it to be, but you still have enough health to be alive. Celebrate that. You've got a job, you've got friends and family. Go down the list. All the blessings in your life. As much as we want to focus on the bad things that are happening to us, we need to also put as much emphasis on the good things that we just don't see in the day-to-day. If good things are happening and you expect those good things, that doesn't make them any less good. They're still good things that you should be grateful for, that you should celebrate on Thanksgiving, and every day for that matter. Don't wait till Thanksgiving to show gratitude when things are happening good in your life. I literally am grateful every single day for the blessings in my life, the things I've been able to accomplish, the things that I'm still able to do even after all these years. You can always find gratitude in things in your life when you want to. What really makes me upset is when I hear people say, I've got nothing at all to be thankful for. My life is a train wreck. And they go down the list of all the things that are happening poorly to them. And I just want to grab them by the shoulders, look them in the eye and go, really? You've got nothing to be grateful for? Nothing at all? It takes a really hard, cold person to look someone honestly in the eye and say there's nothing to have gratitude for. That's some balls there. And I think a lot of that happens because we have these expectations in our lives. We expected our life to be better than what it is. We expected things to fall into place. We expected that we would never have difficult times. You live a good life. You're doing good things. You're an upstanding member of society. Why, pray tell, is all this happening? And again, I've lived this experience, you guys. What I was going through for most of the past 2 years, before about 5 or 6 months ago, what I went through, I had those moments where I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a good guy. Why is this happening? Why am I still having to deal with this anguish? And you probably have your own anguish today. I'm not minimizing your anguish, but we all go through anguish. We all go through those times in our lives when things aren't going very well. And acknowledging them and living that pain, feeling that pain in the moment, it's all a part of the human experience. So don't ever think I'm judging you for having those painful moments and going through what you're going through. But what I will judge you on is allowing yourself to stay there. Because if you stay mired in ingratitude, ungratefulness, not being thankful for anything in your life, you better check yourself so fast, because there's always something to be grateful for. And I get it. There's people going through some immeasurably difficult times right now. And I have a heart for you guys, because I've been there. I've lived it. And in the midst of it, you don't want to hear, just have gratitude. I get that. I'm right there with you. If somebody the last couple of years just said, you just need to be more grateful in your life, I would have slapped them upside their head. So I get it. I get that when you're in the midst of pain and life isn't all rosy for you, the last thing you want to hear is just be grateful and have thankfulness, and to put on a fake smile on Thanksgiving and act like everything's okay when it's not okay. I get that feeling, you guys. That was my life the last 2 years. I had 2 Thanksgivings in a row where I did all I could to just show up, much less to have any gratitude in my heart. But now that I'm on the other side of that, tomorrow and every day that I live my life, I have such gratitude and thanksgiving in my heart, because I'm living the life I wanted on my own terms now. And I've been able to overcome the anguish and not stay there. And maybe that's what you can be grateful for, that you're working on yourself in this very moment. Maybe you're not all the way back yet. Maybe you haven't overcome those things that are still difficult for you. It's a journey. Maybe you're on a health journey right now, and maybe you are eating well. If you're doing keto, you're doing carnivore, whatever you're doing, and you're doing all the things and you're trying to make yourself better. You do all those things, and maybe you're not quite to where you want to be yet. Show gratitude to yourself for your willingness to do all the things it takes to be where you are right now. Show gratitude that but for you changing your lifestyle, you may not be here today. It's kind of morbid to think about, and I talk about it a lot in my own work. I know if I had not shifted over to more low-carb eating, that today I would very likely be dead. There's no way I could have kept up eating the way I was eating with all the crappy garbage when I was 32 and made this change. I would have been dead by 40. I honestly believe that. And especially in light of me eating so well for so long, still dealing with weight, thankfully no health problems, but still dealing with weight, I know I would have already had major chronic disease, major morbid obesity, if not already 6 feet under. And every male in my family has gone through cardiovascular issues. Some of them succumbing to it early, like my brother Kevin at 41, both of my grandfathers in their early 50s. My dad, 48 and 50, had heart attacks and quintuple heart bypass at 54. I am thankful today I am not in that place. I am extremely healthy despite those genetic predispositions. I'm extremely healthy because I make good choices about what I do with my diet. Coming out here on this walk every day, doing all the things I'm doing on this day 85 of the sabbatical to 50. I'm in a good place, even as I'm still healing, as I'm still pursuing even better health. And there's gratitude in that. If you can't see gratitude in the little things, and you're only expecting gratefulness and thankfulness about the big things, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. We all have things to be grateful for. You might view them as small. But if you're grateful for a lot of small things, guess what? That adds up to a big ass thing. And you can sit around the Thanksgiving table tomorrow and say, you know what? I am thankful for this, and this. And while all of those things individually may seem small, all of them cumulatively are huge. And we should be celebrating those things. So if you're one of those people that tomorrow is going to be miserable because you don't feel like you have very much gratitude in your heart, because you don't feel it today, hopefully today's walk and talk message is resonating with you. And I want to hear from you guys. What are you thankful for? And again, I don't care how big or small you think it is. What are you thankful for? Surely, if you follow my work, you've got something you're thankful for. You follow me because you know I speak very clearly and very bluntly. I'm trying to be super honest and vulnerable with you guys, so be super honest and vulnerable back. What are you grateful for today? And if you're not feeling much gratitude on this Thanksgiving Eve, it's time to start thinking about what you are grateful for, what you have Thanksgiving in your heart for. So let me hear from you. Day 85 of my sabbatical to 50. I'm grateful and thankful that I've made it 85% of the way of this 100-day journey. Just over 2 weeks away, and I am finished with this. I'm going to keep doing walk and talks all the way till December the 10th, when this 100 days is over, by the way. A lot of you have really enjoyed these. Then I'm going to take a few weeks off during the Christmas holidays, and I'm going to come back in the new year. I'm talking to my web guy as we speak about making this into a walk and talk podcast. So by popular demand, we're going to try to do that. So I'll do the same thing. I'll go on the walk, take you guys along for the ride. I'll need you to participate a lot more than some days. Some days I get out here and I feel like I'm doing a soliloquy for an hour. So you do have to talk to me. But I would like to do the walk and talk with Jimmy Moore podcast. That would be cool. And that way I keep walking. And then there's this content that you can either watch on video or you can listen to on podcast. Because a lot of people, they don't like when they're in the car or whatever having a video on, but they'll turn on a podcast. So if you like that, stay tuned. We'll have that in the new year. But what do you guys have to say about this topic of finding gratitude when you just don't feel it? There's going to be days you're not going to feel very grateful. What do you do on those days? All right. Good afternoon from the UK, says Miss Lady Smith. I love my UK people because, yeah, it's already like 2 o'clock in the afternoon for you guys. And I got to watch out. There's some water spots out here. And because it's in the 20s, Jimmy don't want to be slipping and sliding on ice. So bear with me as I have to look down to make sure I don't step in black ice and go whoop. That would not be good. Keto diet author busts his head open on ice. We don't want that headline. We really don't want that headline. No. They'll say I hurt myself because I'm a keto, though. That's what would happen in the headline. What up, Parkman? Thanks for being here. Good morning, Linda. Del Norte says, I like this topic. Gratitude is important. And I'm grateful for just still being upright. Exactly. If you're able to get up and put 2 feet on the ground, that is something to be grateful for. Because not everybody can do that. All right. There's a dog in this driveway who looks to be loose. I'm going to keep an eye on him. Just a second, you guys. I'll be grateful if he does not bite me. I do not like dogs because I got bit when I was a kid. And this one's walking towards me. Shit. Oh, please be nice, dog. Please be nice to me. I'm going to look forward, guys. He's literally right next to me, like 20 feet away. I'm looking at him in my side eye. This is like real time. Although it's so cold out here, I'm probably like ice. There he is. See the doggy? Is he going to follow me on the trail? Oh boy. Come on, dog. Stay home. You don't need to follow me. All right, looks like he's staying somewhat put. All right. Problem is I got to walk right back by there again here in a minute. That's unnerving for me. Kira says, yay for the cold tolerance, probably having some badass Viking blood. Yes. I do. I love the cold. I mean, it's in the 20s right now. The only thing I'm feeling physically, other than I can feel my face tighter and my ears cold, is my nose is running a little bit, but don't worry about that. People are like, oh, you'll get sick. My dad used to say that when I was a teenager. You're going to get a cold. I'm like, you don't automatically get a cold from being out in the cold. The only way you get a cold being out in the cold is if you don't have great immune system. And I've got a great immune system because of all the ways that I treat myself nutritionally and lifestyle-wise. Get outside and get a cold from just being in cold. Yeah, hold my beer. I'm in 33-degree ice baths all the time. I think I have a good tolerance for cold. All right. Good morning, Keto to Carnivore Mama. Del Norte says, I'm grateful to still be living after surviving a heart attack. Yes. Gave me a different perspective on life. Yes. I've heard many people talk about heart attacks and strokes and other brushes with their life and their mortality, and that really does wake you up. If that's what it takes to make you get serious about your health, it's a tough way to go. But there's a lot of people, they wait till they have that very serious moment in their health before they do anything about it. Meanwhile, if you've got decent health and you're eating junk food, oh, you're so crazy eating that all meat diet or that keto diet. And you just look at those people and go, you're playing Russian roulette with your health. You never know when those choices you're making, while not hurting you now, might catch up to you. So I always look at those people with incredulity and go, really? You think you're immune to ever being sick? You think your choices are good and mine are bad? And you're going to judge me for my choices when I'm eating real whole foods and you're eating junk food? We live in a very backwards society sometimes, don't we? Very backwards. Go, Jimmy! Run, 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 run. Ice Cube, says Bulletproof Coconut. Yes. Bulletproof says, when I'm feeling down, I think about how grateful I am for the loved ones that I still have in my heart. Gratitude is important, yes. My mama is still alive. She's in her early 70s. And she's not doing well physically. She's got morbid obesity. She's got this condition called myasthenia gravis that actually developed from a freak accident. She got bit by a bug. This has been about 10 years ago. I remember because my sister Beverly called me. I was on vacation at the time. And Beverly's like, Mama's not doing well. We don't think she's going to make it. And I'm like, what? She was only in her early 60s at the time. She said, yeah, looks like a mosquito bit her. And now she's fighting for her life. I'm like, what did that mosquito have? Turns out the mosquito gave her Lyme disease. And that Lyme disease debilitated her body, which she wasn't doing great in her health anyway. So it hit her harder. But then the Lyme disease got turned into an autoimmune condition called myasthenia gravis, where one whole side of her body became paralyzed, almost like a stroke. In fact, that's what they thought it was at first, was that she had a stroke, because the whole side of her body and her whole everything was just numb and droopy. And so she had to go on some very high dose steroids and lots of other medications. And she still, to this day, has to take some steroids. And of course, you know what steroids do. They balloon you up in weight. And so she gained a lot of weight. And she had gastric bypass surgery. So she gained back all the weight that she had lost on gastric bypass, and then some. She's bigger today than I think I've ever seen her in my life. And I know it makes her feel bad. But I'm like, Mama, you're still here, and I'm grateful for that. And my sister Beverly, I'm grateful for them as family. I went to see them last year on Thanksgiving, by the way. It was great to see them, and I was like, you guys really want turkey on Thanksgiving? She's like, Mama says, no, I really don't. Same with Beverly, and I'm like, neither do I. I said, how about I go get us some ribeye steaks? And I grill ribeye steaks for our Thanksgiving meal. I think we had some green beans and mashed cauliflower. They're like, yeah. So last Thanksgiving, I had ribeye steaks. I think I ate 2 of them. And some mashed cauliflower. And that was Thanksgiving meal. Anybody else do non-traditional Thanksgiving meals? I get it, the nostalgia of having a turkey, but there's some better meat choices if you're gonna eat meat. Yes. There are a few real things to get down on in life. So many people stress about not having coffee or the newest phone. Yes. Oh my gosh. The banality of the things we stress ourselves over. You are so right, Bulletproof. I don't get people that manufacture stress, manufacture ungratefulness. And yes, I'm saying that word by design, the manufacture part. You make up shit to worry about. Your life is very good, and you should be very thankful if you have to start making things up to be concerned about. And there's a lot of people that do that. I know, not to say that if you're going through things that you're making it up, but think about the things you worry about. How much of that is actual things versus things that you manufacture in your mind that you need to be concerned about? I think most of the things people go through in their lives and worry about could be rectified if they just changed their perspective about it. Have a attitude of gratitude, as the saying says, because it's hard to feel ungrateful when you keep the right perspective on things. It's hard to feel ungrateful when you realize the blessings you have in your life. That's what helps keep me grounded, you guys. Those moments when I feel like things are seemingly bad, I always go back to, what am I grateful for? What are the good things happening for me? How can I turn this negative thought pattern around and stop thinking that everything in my life is how I feel about this thing I'm thinking about at this very moment? Very rarely is every part of your life a negative. Very rarely. Most of the time, there are quantitatively more as a percentage of the things happening in your life. There's more things happening good than there are happening bad. But we dwell on the bad. We let the bad be the totality of our life experience. I don't want to live that way. I don't want to go through my life moping and complaining and thinking, oh my gosh, woe is me. Yeah, that's not a life. And if it is a life, it's a dreadful one. And I don't choose to live in dread. I live victorious. I live badass. I live because I have things to live for. And if that's not you today, get with the program. Figure it out. And the sooner you do, the happier you'll be. And the more grateful you'll be. And the more you can celebrate Thanksgiving with a truly grateful heart. It's all I want for you guys here today. When I've experienced the real bad events in life, I often wish I had those little things to stress about. Yeah, when you make things up, you're like, holy crap. Now I have a real bad thing, and I wish I had those smaller bad things, yes. The big things make the little ones look like nothing. What's that book? Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it's all small stuff. What a great title for a book that was. Uh-oh, the dog is barking at me. That's not a good sign. Let me keep an eye on him. Walking back by him again. There he is. So he's barking at me. He didn't bark on the way in. But he's barking now. Give me a second, guys. I do see some humans coming my way, so if I get attacked, at least I'll have help. Stay put, dog. Stay put. Don't make me have to do a little back kick here. Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Good, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Look how bundled up they are. They probably think, who's the wacko in shorts and t-shirt? We can be grateful of the simple things. I'm grateful I get to walk. I'm grateful that I have heat. Yeah, are you rubbing it in my face that you have heat right now, Bulletproof? Trust me, when I get back, I have cranked the heat in my building. So when I walk back in, I will get all the melting of this very frigid body of mine. It's kind of funny. By this point in the walk, I'm about just over halfway done with the walk. And usually by now, my body temperature is warm enough that if it's cold, I'm superseding some of that coldness, and that's where I'm at. But I can feel my ears like ice cubes right now. But I do feel okay. I don't mind this weather. Now, if it was in the teens, that starts to bite. Oh, black ice again. Let me watch that. Do not slip and fall, Jay. Good morning, Sheila. Thanks for being here. Keto to Carnivore Mama. I'm grateful for all the things God has given me and my family. Yeah. I think the moment you forget the blessings in your life is the moment that some of those blessings get taken away from you. Ungratefulness is one of the biggest travesties of the human experience. Ungratefulness has somewhat of, I'm going to step on toes again, I don't care, somewhat of vibes of spoiled. If you forget the things in your life that are blessings and you show no gratitude for them, I don't care what your perspective is of them, if they're good things in your life and you don't show gratitude for those things, you are a spoiled person. You are. Again, maybe you don't want to hear that. I don't care. I'm always going to tell truth. Don't be spoiled. Be grateful. And here's what happens. When you show gratitude in your heart for the little things, you prove that you're able to acknowledge things when they're good. And then something magical happens. Then you get more blessings, bigger blessings. The gratitude manifests new experiences for you to be grateful for. And maybe this time they're bigger and they're more obvious things to be grateful for. But because you saw the gratitude in the small things, you were rewarded with things that are bigger and better. And you can't get that unless you show gratitude now. That's more motivation for you to acknowledge those things that are good and that you're grateful for. I'm grateful for you every day, Jimmy. Always a positive start to my day that I look forward to. Thank you, Bulletproof. You are definitely the one person I can count on every day to engage with me here. This walk and talk is so much better when I get engagement. So everybody, be like Bulletproof, because I'm grateful for him today. Be like him, because I need interaction for this to be a fun experience of sharing thoughts. So thank you. Right back at you, my bud. Appreciate you a lot. Keto to Carnivore Mama, woohoo for day 85. Yes, day 85. My sabbatical to 50. We are still going, rocking, loving every minute. And I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it to the very end for sure. I'm thankful for beautiful-hearted people. Yes, Sheila. I'm very thankful because I have a lot of friends that are beautiful-hearted people. I had a lot of friends get me through that really, really tumultuous time in my life. I will acknowledge my best friend, Brittany. She was there through it all. And then there were other friends that came along the way that added value to me. And so if you can't acknowledge those people in your life that are indispensable to you, again, you're spoiled. Don't be spoiled. Be grateful. Kira says, I'm grateful for my journey so far, talking about her health journey, and my path from illness and the wisdom to figure it out despite all the medical orthodoxy. Yeah. I think a lot of the people that follow me can say the same thing. We were frustrated by doctors telling us that health is found in a pill, and we realized health was found in something much better than a pill, and that the pill they were offering was only fool's gold. We might have felt good in the temporary, but it was not a long-term solution. For a lot of us, nutrition and lifestyle changes were exactly what we needed, and yet we never heard that till we took the bull by the horns and did it ourselves. I'm getting advice about the dog. Pretend he's not there. Tell him to go home. I was pretending it was not there as I was side-eyeing him. When he started barking at me on the way back, I went, oh boy. Mauled by dog on day 85 of his sabbatical to 50. That would not have been good because you guys would have seen that live. I'm cracking up hysterically. Your commentary about the dog is so funny, but I understand your fear is not. I know, and it's not irrational. I got bit in the face by a Doberman when I was young. That trauma's still there. So loud barks get me because when that Doberman bit me, he was on my chest barking right in my face. So I have a visceral reaction to barks now. Loud, deep, kind of barks. Those scare me. I get a intense quivering in my body when I hear a dog like that. I recently went out on a date with a girl, and in her house, she has 2 dogs, big dogs. I think one was a Great Dane. I don't know what the other one was, but they were big. And the one got up on their hind legs and was taller than me, and I'm 6'3". And I was just like, holy crap. And then the girl started to walk away. I'm like, come back here, please, come back here. I was terrified, but I was trying not to make her know I was terrified, but I was terrified. Needless to say, it was one and only one date with that girl, so I gotta like her big dogs or she didn't want to like me, and it's all good. I don't need that adrenaline rush every single day. That would not be fun. Linda says, I'm grateful for lots of things, but especially these walks, which have given me so much to think about, and they got me moving. Yes, Linda was one of my early adopters on this sabbatical to 50 which started on September 1st, you were one of the very first ones that started saying, hey, I want to do that too. And here you are. I think you said 84 out of the last 85 days you have walked with me. That is amazing. Also, for all my ladies on the Zoom call who keep me going too. That's awesome. Awesome, Linda. Proud of you. And I'm grateful for your presence here every day as well. So thank you for that. Good morning. Kira says, sorry to hear about your mom. Why couldn't she have been bitten by the red and blue spider to become a superhero? Yeah. Oh, she's a superhero. Her husband died 2 years ago, and she's so free and independent. He wasn't very good to her, and she was under his torment for a few decades. And so seeing her apart from that now, and she's just like, I don't give a fuck anymore kind of attitude about life. It's very refreshing, and I feel like the last couple of years of my life, I have found my true mom, and we talk regularly. I try to call her at least once a week, and we talk for a while. We have to talk until she has to go pee, and she's like, all right, time for me to go. I'm like, go enjoy your pee time in the bathroom, Mom. We have that kind of relationship. And of everybody in my family, she's the one that has always been proud of what I've accomplished with the keto books and the stuff I do in diet and health. She's the one. My sister Beverly, of course, too. But nobody on my dad's side of the family even keeps in contact with me. It's just my mama. And so I will always be grateful for her. She always believed in me. Can't say that about other people in my life. Other people in my life took advantage of me when I became successful, and they liked the success I had. But as soon as I was no longer needed, I became expendable again. You learn a lot about people in the midst of the good times and bad times, and when you see that juxtaposition between those two times, you know who your real friends are when you're going through the difficult stuff. You do. You see it. Sometimes people stay in the down all the time and they don't really get to experience the other side, where they swoop in your life when things are going well. And oh wow, things are going well. You're financially better off. What will you get me? What will you buy me? And then when all that goes by the wayside, they go silent on you again, and you see their true self. The best indication of people that are authentic in your life is they never change, no matter how much your life circumstance changes. They're always there. And again, my sweet mama, she's always been there. She'd be the first to tell you she's not been perfect, but she's never lost her love and care and concern for me. And everybody needs that, don't they? Grateful for my family, says Elizabeth. We'll be trying a tomahawk steak for Thanksgiving. That is awesome. I love that. Hey guys.
Hello, you gonna freeze?
Nah, I'm good. I got a cold heart, so that helps. She's a cold-hearted snake. Look into her eyes. Uh-oh. She's been telling lies. I'm dating myself with a Paula Abdul song. That lady's like, you're gonna freeze. Nope, I'm good. I got sunshine on my face now. Sunshine on my face. Walking. Talking to you guys. Del Norte, I'm grateful for the message today. I have a busy day at work, so I really needed this. Yay. I had a feeling if people were working today or maybe casually getting ready to go visit family, that this would be a good message for today. And since I won't see you guys tomorrow, I didn't think it would be very smart to go live on Thanksgiving morning. There would be a few of you here, but I'm going to take the day off tomorrow, rest up. Those blisters are starting to come back on my toes again. It created a really hard callus over both of the blisters that I had, and now that's been rubbed away and it's raw again. So I found these little skin type bandages to put over them, and they help a little, but boy are they still sore. So still battling a little bit of that. I guess it helps it's so cold out here. It numbs up a little bit the toes, so I don't feel it quite as bad. That is something to be grateful for with the cold today. You're doing great. Challenge your inner dog whisperer. Yes, be the dog. No, I handle dogs better now than I used to. I would just be terrified. Now I can at least be near them and my heart doesn't race. So I call that progress. Miss Lady Smith, despite all that I've lost over the past decade of my life, I've gained so much more. Perspective is key. Yes, it's so easy to dwell on the bad things that you forget there's a chain reaction of good things that can happen when seemingly bad things happen. It's just a matter of stepping back and finding that perspective. So thank you for sharing that. Grateful for all the knowledge sharing. It saved my life, giving me hope for future. That's outstanding. And again, thank you, Miss Lady Smith. Bulletproof says my perfectionist mindset often obsesses over the little things. I tell myself life is good to be focusing on that because I really don't have any bad things going on. I turn my obsession into gratitude. Yes. That is the way to do it. We are blessed to have our sweet mamas. Yes, Sheila, we really are. And for many years, I had a little bit of resentment towards my mom because I got beat when I was a teenager by my dad. And I remember going back to see her in my early 20s, 4 or 5 years after I was out of the house. And I said, I don't know if I could ever forgive you. And again, I was in my early 20s, so bear in mind, that's where my mind was. I don't think I could ever forgive you for sending me to live with my dad. And she just kind of cold-heartedly said, yeah, get over it. Now, I thought she knew I'd been beaten. And only 2 years ago did she find out that I was beaten physically by my dad. And when she found out, and she was a ghost, and she was just so distraught about that. She's like, I had no idea. And I'm like, how could nobody in this little small town I was in, nobody call my mom and say what's happening? But they didn't. So anyway, she is a sweet mama. She didn't know. I have forgiven all that I had in my heart against her, realizing that she had my best interest in mind sending me away. She just didn't know what she sent me away to. Can't fault her for that, for trying to do better by me. And she did the best she could. And I'm grateful today for however much time I have left with her in life. I'm grateful that I have the relationship I do with my mom. Not everybody has great relationships with their parents, and my dad I have no relationship with. Pretty much everything's been cut off, which I'm fine with. The man beat the shit out of me when I was a teenager, and to this day has failed to even acknowledge it. So I don't really have much to say to him anymore. I feel bad that he's lived his whole life in that, but that's not my concern. If he's not even going to be willing to step a little bit in my direction to show a little bit of contrition. I worked on that for a long time, all throughout my 30s and most of my 40s. I always put down my reservations about going to see him, and I tried to be in his life. The last big thing I did was I took the Moore side of the family on a cruise. This was about 2.5, 3 years ago. Took them all on a cruise, and most of that side of the family, not all of them, my aunt and a couple others were very grateful, but most of them were just ungrateful. They expected it. I had the money to do that, and they're like, well, okay, Uncle Jimmy is rich, and so let's go have a party on a ship, and he can afford it. And they took advantage of it. And my dad shows up to a cruise ship with no passport, no ID at all. And I'm like, dude, what? Oh, I guess I just forgot. I'm like, they won't let you on a boat without a passport. Oh, I didn't know. Even though I made it very clear. You think back to those things that you try to do for people and their ungratefulness. What do you do with that? I don't know how I got on that story, but I went on it anyway. You heard it now. So Miss Stacia says, I'm 10 years younger than you, almost to the day, and Paula Abdul is one of my favorites. Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever? Oh, oh, oh. That was my jam in college, was Paula Abdul. Paula Abdul, MC Hammer, Bon Jovi, Run DMC. I had a very eclectic musical taste back in that era. Yes, yes. What's my favorite Paula Abdul? I liked Opposites Attract, that video that they played on MTV with the animation, her dancing with a animated thing. That was pretty cool technology back then. The CGI was not near as prevalent as it is now. Taking me back to my college days again. Rest is always as important as exercise. Yes. And I have acknowledged that. When I've taken a day off, I always come back after the day off feeling so much more rejuvenated, which tells me it was right to take the day off. Sharon says, so glad to hear your message this morning. You're always on point. Thank you for that, dear Jimmy. You're welcome, Sharon. I try to just live and talk about the things that matter to me. And if they matter to me, maybe they matter to you guys. So I'm always happy to help. If you know abuse is happening, always report it. Yeah. Back in the 80s in small town America, you never talked about that stuff. And it wasn't like there was not public displays of the abuse happening. People saw it and they just kept their mouth shut. I don't think that would fly in 2022. I think we live in a very different society. I know it's not 2022 yet, but it's about to be. We live in a very different society now than we did in the 80s. And I think if abuse was happening, Child Protective Services would be called so fast. Today they would. It's crazy that your family expected the cruise. I'd exploded them. Well, I was trying to make amends with people who did not want me to make amends with them. And it was a lesson there for me that when you can do something for others, and that's the reason they want you, and that's the only reason they want you, then they don't really want you. It's when you need them. And with the things that I went through over the past 2 years, I needed them. And every single one of them abandoned me. All of them. Not one single one of them checked in on me in the midst of all that. My mom did, my sister did, but nobody on the Moore side. And that's disgusting. We should all be grateful for the family in our lives that do care about us, genuinely care about us. Maybe you don't always get along with certain parts of your family, but you know they care about you. Celebrate that tomorrow. Tell them what they mean to you tomorrow. Sometimes that's a breath of fresh air. I tell my mom all the time how much I'm grateful for her for a lot of things. Number one, giving me life in this world, but then loving me and encouraging me, applauding the things I've been able to do. And she's excited about the things that are going to come in my life. She knows I'm going to meet a new girl, hopefully before she dies, and have her in my life. She knows I've got a new book coming in the new year and all the work I'm doing online. She's just so proud of me. And you can't take that stuff for granted. And I don't. Time for Jimmy to start a singing career. No, I will stick to karaoke. I love having fun behind the microphone. I am by no means a professional singer, but I do like to have fun. I was dared to do a Lady Gaga song in karaoke one time. So I was like, okay, how about Bad Romance? And they're like, yeah, Bad Romance. That was fun. Now it's one of my go-tos. I also do Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. I do all the weird songs. And I ham it up, as you would expect. I love it. Your speaking voice always reminds me of Billy Corgan. And you can hit the same high notes too, says Miss Lady Smith. I don't know who Billy Corgan is. But yes, I can falsetto pretty high. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo! My neighbors are going to be like, what the hell? It's too early in the morning for that, Jimmy. Galileo Figaro! Magnifico! If you can't have fun in life, why is there life worth living, right? Thank you for inspiring that, Miss Lady Smith. Elizabeth says, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful time. I always love your walk and talk. Thank you. I love doing these. Linda says, I remember the pics you posted from your cruise trip with your family. Bulletproof says, I have fake friends leave me when I needed them more. Yeah. I was shocked by how many people left my life in the midst of the hardest thing I'd ever gone through in my life. But they did, which was great in hindsight. In the midst of it, I was like, what the hell? But in hindsight, I go, good riddance. You can't be with me when I need you? What's the point of having you as a friend? It's why I will forever be grateful for my very best friend, Brittany. Because when everybody fell by the wayside, she was my one friend that no matter what she was going through in her life, and she was going through some really bad stuff, she always was there for me. And vice versa, I was there for her. But then other people came in my life and helped pick up the slack when Brittany would not be available. We got to celebrate those people and let those fake friends go. Because if they're not serving you in your lowest point, they're never going to actually serve you. What they're doing is waiting for your high point so they can leech off of you. Not anymore. Oh, Billy Corgan is the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. Okay. I was not a big fan of Smashing Pumpkins. It's not really my style of music. But from what I know, yes, he does sing quite high. Sheila says, you're my other brother for sure. I don't mind that. I will take that. Man with shorts and t-shirts seen singing outside, says Bulletproof. Yes. Shorts and t-shirt in frigid temps. Sub-freezing temperatures. Lots of my friends left me when it became obvious I wasn't getting better. It hurt initially, but I was actually very liberated from it. Yes, I can say the same thing. I had an old friend contact me just this morning on Facebook asking how I'm doing, and I was like, I'm better today than I've been in years. And so that was cool. It's good to be able to tell people that, even if it hurt in the moment of going through the things you go through. It's always good to say, you know what, but I'm better off because of that. Painful in the moment, but now grateful and thankful of where you are now. People who leave us have lost great people. Always remember, they didn't deserve me. Yes, yes, yes. I love that, Bulletproof. Del Norte, I can only sing that high if I get kicked in the race. Mama, ooh. Yeah, I've always been able to falsetto pretty well. I don't know where I get that from, but it does help me with like making funny cartoon voices. Okie dokie. I can do all kind of little funny voices because of that falsetto. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Keto to Carnivore Mama. So grateful for the lessons I've learned, says Bulletproof. So yes, guys, day 85 of my stay batical to 50. I am back home now. So I'm going to sign off for now. Hop on over to my website, livinlavitalow-carb.com/staybatical, or look up staybatical to 50 hashtag all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can find all the past videos. Have a happy Thanksgiving, you guys. I will see you again on Black Friday. And until then, we'll see you then. Bye, guys.